Welcome to another exciting episode of the $1 Million Peddlers. I'm Paper Guy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
Mr. Magazine, I'm going to read you something that I saw on the Whatnot Reddit, but I want you to think about what I'm going to say, but I want you to think about it in a larger context, not just Whatnot, but
Right.
public auctions, flea markets, in somebody's store, anywhere you want.
All right.
I got banned from his stream for telling the chat the most recent comps on the item. So in other words, the seller was saying, "Oh, this item is worth $100," and he jumped in the guy's chat, the seller's chat, and said, "No, it's a $50 item or it's a $75 item."
Ooh, so he's correcting the seller.
He's correcting the
The
seller,
seller's juicing up the comp when it's false.
potentially.
But
Potentially.
again, you go on eBay or any other site, you could have 5 different prices. So you could have a comp at 50 or a comp
And
at
a
100.
comp at 100. They
Right,
both could be
exactly,
true.
Yeah, sure.
Yep.
And it depends on when in the last, 30 or 60 days too. So, but yeah, that's I wouldn't do that.
No, definitely not. And I guess the way I'm looking at it is everybody's got to do, they got to do their due diligence.
Yeah, buyer beware.
Buyer beware. Yes, exactly. And if you tell me, "Oh, this is worth $100," and I buy it from you off of what you tell me, and it's worth 90, well,
Right.
that's close enough. I'm not going to get too upset.
Yeah.
I get it, and it's worth 35. I'm probably not. I'm probably not coming back to you again.
Right, yeah, you have to eat it, but you learned your lesson.
And I'm not going to trust you again.
Right,
Or if I contact you and I say, "No, this is only 35," and I say, "No, it's this. And you're like, "No, it's this other one." And I say, "Wait, really? Let me look into it."
Yeah.
And it's something that I don't usually deal in. Wow, I'm really sorry about that. And I make good on it. It's a different story.
Sure.
But I'm just kind of almost thinking like if you're walking through a flea market, which you don't tend to do, but a flea market or a show, or imagine if you were in your store and you were showing somebody was looking at some cards, and you're like, "Oh yeah, this is an $80 card," and some guy standing off to the side goes, "No, it's not. It's $35. It's right here on eBay for $35."
Yeah.
I mean, would you kick him out of your store?
Probably not. Or maybe it's talk to them afterwards, set them aside, and say, "Hey, I prefer you're not doing that. If you don't come in if you're going to do stuff like that, But I've had people come in when the blaster craze was going on. And blasters were $20, but they were selling for 40, 50. And I would have it for retail is really 40 and 50 at that point in the secondary market, and people will get angry. But like, that's what the market is. If they're selling it on eBay or up the street for 40, why am I going to sell it for 20 and make no money? So yeah, it's tough. But
Well, that's almost like if I were standing in there with those blasters at 40, and I'm like going, "I don't know if I should get one or not." And a customer walks in and goes, "Oh, don't buy those from Mr. Magazine. They got them right there at the Toys R Us at the corner for 25.
People have done that, sure.
Really?
Yeah. Or BJ's, because BJ's used to get in like pallets of them. Like, oh yeah, there's 20 at BJ's, but you got to have a membership and all that.
Well, you got to drive up there. You got to hope they're still there.
Exactly.
And certainly, hopefully at that point they realize too that, okay, let's say you were charging 25 instead of 20.
Yeah.
It's not worth their time driving all the way up
Right,
there in order to buy,
exactly.
especially if they're just going to buy one.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I see the sellers right to ban that person, and I actually completely understand why the seller would ban that person. I think I probably would as well, and I'm pretty even-tempered on something. But you don't come in and mess with things, and if for some reason or other the seller is fibbing, again, the buyer will figure it out at some point, hopefully, and then learn a lesson and not come to it. And the other thing too is most people, or so many people, have multiple devices.
Right.
So when the seller's telling me, I mean, I've gone to Facebook auctions and that stuff, and the seller's like, "You got to look these things up. These things go for." Guess what I'm doing on another tab? I'm looking them up just to verify. And there are times where I've sat there and I've seen something or other that I can buy online for $100, and I see it going on an online auction for $140. I certainly don't jump in and go, "Well, it's only a $100 item."
Right.
I just keep my mouth shut, bite my tongue, stay off to the side.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, they want to purchase it from somebody else for $140. God bless them,
Yeah.
And it could be they bought other things off the guy and they're going to get free shipping. It could be they trust the guy and they don't want to buy on eBay. It could be they don't deal on eBay. Whatever the reason is, because I guess ultimately when it comes down to it, Mr. Magazine, how do you and I make our money?
Selling fair pricing.
Well, yes, but what's the overall? If you could summarize it in 4 words, How
good,
do
good
we?
customer service, obviously.
Well, that's 3. But
Sorry, go
anyway,
ahead. Striking out, kind of striking out.
buy low, sell high.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, ultimately, that is what everybody watching this who resells, that is their goal.
Sure.
There are differences in prices. There just are.
Yeah.
Because if there weren't any differences in prices, we'd be out of business.
Yeah.
Because we go to buy something other at a house call, and the guy goes, it's $100, and we buy it from him for $100, and we're allowed to sell it for $100, and everybody else says it for $100.
Where are we going?
We're just spinning our wheels and losing money when time gets said and done.
Find me a smart guy that buys high and sells high. Now, what if this customer that made this comment was actually a customer that spent money? So, like, he's spending, $20, $30, $50 a week with you, or every time you're on there. Then it's a little tougher, I think. So this is probably a guy that just went on purpose to heckle him. But if it's someone that's actually spending money and they don't know any better, then what do you do?
Then I think you discuss after the auction.
Yeah.
Hey, I really appreciate your
out.
business. If you don't mind, I guess I was a little bit high in the comp. Thanks for pointing that out. Could you just not do that in the future? Nicely say that.
Yeah.
Would be, I guess, how you would end up doing that.
Sure.
Yeah. So if you could comment down below on what your opinion is of that. Like I said, it's I think it's stepping over the bounds. The only exception to that would be, obviously, if it were a close friend of mine doing the purchase. If a good friend of mine were buying something from a store and, yeah, this car here, sure, it's got only 3 wheels, but it's a deal at $10,000. I might go up to my buddy and go, let's move on. We'll find something else. I really don't think a 1972 Nova with 3 wheels is really a $10,000 car. Maybe we can find something different. But it's a different story because there you're helping your friend or you're helping whatever out. But to walk into a room with complete strangers and heckle the person selling it and basically call them a liar in front of everybody, I think that's gauche.
Yes.
So let us know down below your opinions on that. Hit the like button if you could, and we will see you next video.
Take care. Bye-bye.